Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reflecting on the goals that I set at the end of 2020 for 2021 and reflecting on them, as well as setting some new goals for 2022. I'm not going to go into too many stats. I'm going to save my end of year stats for the actual end of the year, because as I'm filming this, it's not the end of the year yet. So the stats that are not going to be accurate. And I am one of those people that if I'm looking at the whole year as a whole, I want it to be the full year. There won't be too many stats, it'll just be reflecting my feelings on these goals and what I would want to work on coming up in the future. So I split up my goals for 2021 and I had some reading goals and I had some channel goals. So looking at the reading goals, I had my goal to read 75 books. I have achieved this. As of filming, I have read 90, so achieved. I don't know if I'm quite going to get to 100. It looked for quite a while like I would, but my reading has definitely slowed down in the second half of the year as my life has got a lot busier and things have opened up and I'm spending less time at home reading. Maybe not. I don't think I will, but I'm really 75 I think is a realistic goal. 100 when COVID was happening and I didn't have so much going on and I had more free time and I wasn't seeing anyone, but I think 75 is a realistic goal for me and my life as someone that works 5 days a week. And I will be keeping that same goal going forward for 2022. And then one of my big goals this year was to finish series, complete what I was working on, and I have really tried to work on this. So I had a goal to finish at least 10 series and to get my number down. So as of filming this, I have finished 12 series. I do anticipate that I will finish a few more in the month of December, because I do have a couple of series where I have just the final book to go. So I really do anticipate finishing a few more than that, actually, at least two, potentially 3 more series. So I can see that number being as high as 15 series finished, which I'm really happy with. And as of filming, I currently have 25 ongoing series. So that is both series where I am up to date and waiting for the author to come out with a new book, as well as series that are incomplete and it's my fault. The majority of those are series that I am up to date on and waiting for the next book, and they're not my fault. And I really tried to work on the series where it is my fault, and so now the majority of those series where it is my fault are series where I want to reread, and I've delayed rereading until the final book is going to be published. So I don't feel like that list of series is so daunting anymore. We're going into this year, I think it was at 33 and now it's at 25, and I anticipate it'll be further in the lower 20s by the end of the year. So I feel like it's in a much better place. It's a much more manageable place. I'm really happy with it, and I feel like now it's more about maintaining and keeping the number low as opposed to reducing. I feel like the low 20s is a good number in having a good amount of series on the go, a good amount of different worlds to be exploring, but it's also manageable. And I understand that it's going to be impossible for me to get my number too low because I am reliant on authors publishing books. I also do want to prioritize, if I am starting a series, that it is a complete series and then I'm able to binge a series. I think my experience of reading is greatly increased when I'm able to read a series, not necessarily back to back, but within a couple of months, and that I have much more enjoyment if that is how I read a series, as opposed to reading one book a year as it is being published, because that will involve me forgetting details or having to reread and then feeling like I'm constantly having to reread the series to keep going in it. Of that number of my up-to-date series, I do want to try and reduce that number by completing the series that are on there where I can, and then the series that I'm starting, they are going to be series that are complete, and then I can just read them through. But those are some sort of aims with that, and how I'm really happy with how I've done. I feel like as I'm filming this, I haven't started a series since September, so I feel like it's been quite a while, and I'm really happy that I'm really proud of myself for having really focused on this goal and really tried throughout the whole year to read the series that I've started and just read them through. And at some point I'm like, I really want to start a series. There are so many series that I really want to start. I own so many starts of series. So I'm really looking forward to, in 2022, starting some of these. And then another goal was to read more sci-fi. And I think I did really well with this at the beginning of the year, but then it tailed off a little bit at the end. As of filming, I have read 9 sci-fi books, so about 10% of my reading has been sci-fi. I do still want to increase that number. So that is something that I'm going to continue on with for next year, that I do still want to read more sci-fi. I do still want to see what I like within that genre and see where my interests are with it, because I still don't feel as though I know that genre. I still don't. There's a lot of sci-fi series, and it's a diverse genre. Like, there's lots of different types of sci-fi. There's sci-fi in space, there's sci-fi on Earth, there's sort of dystopian. There's lots of different types of sci-fi, and I don't quite know where I fall quite yet with that genre, and so I do want to keep working on it. I feel like I did really well at the beginning of the year of working on this, and then towards the end of the year I realised that I had read very much romance and I wanted more romance, and so I sort of threw that genre in a bit more. Although I am predominantly a fantasy reader and fantasy brings me so much joy, I do want to try and make sure I have a balance. I'm not just reading fantasy. Although I love fantasy, I feel like I get a greater enjoyment out of fantasy when I intersperse it with other genres. Which brings me to diversity. So one of my aims, which I think is a little bit bizarre when you think about it, is that I wanted to read more male authors. In 2020, I read a lot of women, and that is amazing. I'm really, really happy that I read more female authors than male authors, but I think going into like the second half of 2020, I had only read like 4 male authors or something ridiculous. Whereas this year, at this point, I have read like 30 male authors and 50 or 60 female authors, and then there's a couple of non-binary authors as well, or joint collaborations, and that is a much better mix. I'm really, really happy to have, say, 2/3 female, 1/3 male, as opposed to my like 80-90% female, 10% male, because there are so many male authors that I do enjoy, and so that's why I do want to have a bit more of a balance. I'm really happy having predominantly female, and I feel like I do gravitate naturally to female authors, probably because I am female, and so I think I generally have a bit more of a connection to the characters in a story written by a female author, and I can be a bit more critical of the way male writers can write female. Now that is a generalization. Some male writers write really great female characters, but I can also struggle with the way that women are represented by some male authors. But I'm very, very happy with my increase in male authors. But one where I haven't done so well is with my diversity of ethnicity, and this is something that I still want to keep working on and improving. As of right now, it's about 20% of my reading has been non-white, and I do still want to improve upon that and keep reading from diverse voices. This isn't something that I want to force. I don't want to force it. I want it to be natural, and I want to be just naturally gravitating towards stories that interest me by diverse voices. I love reading fantasy stories that are focused on a non-European or non-Western fantasy worlds. I also really love exploring sort of Asian inspired fantasy stories and ones inspired by the Middle East, like the David trilogy. Like, I love that, and I would love to read more of that. And so hopefully I'm gravitating towards those stories. I want to read more books centered around Latin America and their history. Obviously, probably more fantasy related, not necessarily historical, but I really do enjoy reading these stories which focus on other cultures, and I love learning about other cultures. As someone who has studied languages and has studied different cultures and spent a lot of my university life studying different cultures, I love learning about them. I love seeing how different cultures come and grow and evolve, and reading about people that are different from me and reading about diverse voices. So that's something that I really, really enjoy, and I feel like I get such a great experience about reading from people that have different life experiences to me, and it becomes so much more appreciative of both my life and my privilege, as well as seeing what they've gone through. So it's definitely something that I want to continue working on and continue prioritizing and picking up series by people that have a different experience to me. Other goals were to read at least 1 non-fiction and 1 classic, and I have done that. I'm very happy with that. I didn't say I wanted to read a lot. It's just I want to make sure that I am doing at least 1 a year, and I have read a couple of non-fictions actually, so very happy with that, and I've read a couple of classics as well, and I find that these books are best for me on audio. So I do still have a couple of Jane Austens that I want to read, so those will probably be my classics that I read. Non-fiction, we will see which one it will be, but it is definitely something that I want to keep as a sort of continuous goal, that I will make sure that I will read something in either of those 2 it's hard to say genres. Well, non-fiction as a genre, but classic isn't necessarily a genre. It's not a modern text. So I think my book goals stay relatively the same. I'm not going to be changing anything up in terms of my reading goals. I just want to make sure that I'm reading what makes me happy. Obviously, I'm trying to do this video series where I try out different TBR games, and I am a mood reader, so I do want to try and find this balance between mood reading and trying out these games, which I think are really, really fun, but trying to find this balance and just making sure that I am prioritizing books that make me happy and making sure that I am prioritizing what I want to read. There is this, not pressure of being on the internet, but having a channel and being surrounded by people that have channels and being friends with people that love books. I am easily influenced by what other people are reading, and if someone decides that they're going to host a buddy read for a certain book, I'm like, oh, I really want to join that. I really want to be involved in the conversation. But some of these series are not necessarily like series that are at the top of my list, and so I need to sort of focus, I think, a little bit more on making sure that the series that I'm picking up are series that I'm really interested in. And I think that was easier when I didn't have a channel, because no one really cared what I read apart from me. I mean, it's not so anyone really cares what I read now, but like there is a bit more of there's a platform here, and I want to make sure that what I am reading is things that I am so excited about, and these books that I'm really, really wanting to read, and I'm not just reading it because other people are reading it and I want to be part of the conversation. It's something that I've struggled a bit with Wheel of Time, in that it is such a big thing right now. Like, everyone is talking about Wheel of Time. Everyone's talking about the books, the TV show. If you started watching the TV show, which I haven't yet, then you're wanting to read the books. And I am at this point where I've never wanted to read the Wheel of Time. I've never gravitated towards it. I've never really had this desire to read it. But now, because everyone's talking about it, I'm like, but do I want to read the Wheel of Time? And I have to keep reminding myself, like, no, Abby, I don't know if you do want to read the Wheel of Time. Focus on the series that you're really, really excited about. Instead of reading, I might love the Wheel of Time, I don't know, but it's just an example where there is this hype, and there are these voices within the community that are like loving this series, and I'm like, I want to join in the conversation, and that's the hard thing. Whereas if I didn't have a channel, I wouldn't really be joining in the conversation. I think there's just sort of trying to make sure that I'm prioritizing the books that I know I'm going to love, and making sure that what I'm picking up is going to be a 5-star prediction, because every book should be a 5-star prediction. I shouldn't be picking up a book anticipating it to be 3 stars. I should be picking up a book. Every book I pick up should be a 5-star prediction, in theory. There'll be a few where I'm a bit like, I feel like it could go either way, but in theory, I would hope that everything I'm picking up should be a favourite. So then moving into some channel reflections and goals. One of the goals was to stick to my upload schedule of doing 2 videos a week. I have missed a couple of them, but overall, throughout the majority of the year, I was really good at doing at least 2 videos a week. Sometimes I did 3, but predominantly I've done 2 videos a week. Occasionally, particularly towards the back end of the year when my things have just got a bit too busy and sometimes I just have not had time, I've done 1 video and missed an upload, and I'm not going to berate myself for that. Like, this is a hobby. This is something that I do for fun. Does it matter if I miss an upload? No, it doesn't. Like, what does it matter? Because this is something that I'm doing for fun. It's a hobby. Like, reading is a hobby. I do not want it to become a chore. It's something that I am doing for fun. So I missed a couple of uploads. It will happen. I mean, I do still aim to do 2 videos a week going forward, going into 2022. My aim is to do 2 videos a week. If I miss one, who cares? And then another of my goals was to just regularly intersperse vlogs, reviews, live shows, reading sprints, just have those sorts of things going on. And yes, I have done all of those different things. I'd say that the majority of my videos are sit-down videos, like this one, but I do definitely want to keep working on having different content. I love watching vlogs, so I do want to try and do some more vlogs. I find them so fun to watch and so relaxing to watch. That is something that I would like to keep working on, but I don't want to set like a number of, I'm going to do a vlog every month. No, I'm going to I'll do them when I want to do them, hopefully. But I have so many vlog ideas that are in the back of my head, but I've been trying to finish my series, and so I haven't been able to do the vlogs because the vlogs involve starting series, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to start a series until I've got my series number down. So it's been a bit like, hopefully going into 2022 I can do these fun vlog ideas that I've had in the back of my mind. And then one of my final goals was to feel like a real booktuber, that I sort of had this imposter syndrome, and I do still have these issues where I do still have the confidence issues. I do still feel like I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, but I definitely have felt as the year has gone on that I do feel like I have a place on this platform. I am a booktuber. I am. I've been putting out content twice a week pretty much all year. Like, I am a booktuber now. I am. But I do still question myself. I definitely do. I do wonder sometimes. It's like, why are people watching me? Why do you watch me? Why are you here? Tell me, what am I doing? Like, why? So I do still have those thoughts, definitely. And there are definitely times where I'm like, do people care? Like, do they care what I think about this book? Like, why? So I definitely do still have those doubts in my head. But I think as the year has gone on, I've grown more confident. I mean, looking back on my channel a year ago, I have grown more confident. I'm more confident in front of the camera. I'm more confident with editing. Like, the confidence has grown. And I think that's only natural, that it is something that as time goes on, you do become more and more confident with things. So I'm really happy with how my channel has gone over the past year. I'm still having so much fun with it, and I'm still really enjoying what I am doing and the content that I'm putting out. For next year, again, I don't really have so many goals. I don't. It's not like I had a subscriber goal last year. I don't have a subscriber goal this year. Like, I get everything that I wanted out of my channel. When I started my channel, it was to talk to people and find people that loved reading as much as I do. I didn't have anyone in my personal life so much that loved reading like I did. My boyfriend was sick and tired of me talking about books to him. He doesn't get it. So it's been an absolute joy finding and meeting people that love reading like I do. And I'm meeting these people in real life, and like finding friends over the internet that have loved reading as much as I do. And that has brought me so much joy. So much joy, because I have loved meeting people and meeting you through the internet and through COVID anyway, to finding people that share this passion with me. So that's what I wanted out of the channel. It wasn't to get however many subscribers. What does it matter? Like, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. Not that like I'm saying that I'm stagnating now, because I'm hoping to continue to meet people that share this love. And that's all that this is. I just want to share my love of reading. I love books, and that's what I want to talk about. I love reading. I love books, and I could gush about them all day. Like, that is what I love doing. I love gushing about my favorite books. Like, that is why I'm here, to love books. So if that's all I want to do over the next year, whether it's a reading or it's a channel goal, I just want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to enjoy the books that I'm reading, and I want to gush about them. And I want to share my love. If my love of reading helps spark your love of reading, or I help you discover a series that I love and now you love, like that is a goal. That's the goal. Like, if me recommending John Gwynne or the David Bad trilogy or any of my favorite books to you, and you have loved that series, then that's the goal, isn't it? That I am sharing my love of reading, and it's helping other people discover reading and discover their love of books, and it's helping the authors as well and supporting them. Like, I don't feel like I need to put a numbers goal on it, because my goal is just to have fun and enjoy it. But do definitely let me know what videos you would like to see from me. If you would like things like vlogs, discussions, reviews, sit down videos, buddy reads, like, let me know what you would like from me, because this is my channel. But as I said, I think in my goals video from last year, that it's a community here, and I really appreciate feedback. So anything, please let me know what you would like to see over the next year, and let me know what you like to watch, what you like from my content, what you don't like, what you want to watch, what you want to see. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye.